Welcome to TeslaTech, 6 p.m. on Sunday, another night in the trenches, and good to see everyone here again. Um, Tonight we're going to have a really exciting night, with Andrew Batty here. He's always has great stuff. But before we get to that, I want to remind everyone coming up is Tesla Tech 2025 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you get a chance, we will be selling online, for live stream. But if you could possibly explain it, I really want to encourage people to come in there and be there live. There's nothing like being part of a live event. You get to sit down and talk to people. We have a great time. We have plenty of food. We have a great hotel, um, and like I say, there's things that happen at the conference and the hallways and the back rooms that you're just not going to be able to capture on a live stream. And then there's things on live stream uh, which aren't, you know, which you just don't capture otherwise. Pardon me, I had to work on my computer all last night, and uh, we had to back up the disk before it went down on me, you know, and we're just getting back to normal right now. But anyway, back to the conference, August 6th to 10th, Crown Plaza Hotel, Albuquerque, New Mexico. You get there by plane, train, and automobile. Um, Albuquerque has an international airport, so you can get there by most major airlines. And then you also have an Amtrak even. Amtrak goes through there between LA and Chicago. You can take the Amtrak and pop on in. The station is less than a mile from the hotel. And then you got the Greyhound bus, and it's right at the intersection of two major interstates, Interstate 25, which is north to south, and Interstate 40, which goes east to west. So come on, whether it's by plane, train, automobile, we'll be happy to see you. And if you live in Albuquerque, just pop on down there, and check out the expo and everything. You have a great time. You meet a lot of people. And we have a lot of information to give. We have over 20 speakers. And we have, we even have Terrence Howard coming. And he was on Joe Rogan and had like 1 million hits. So it's a great chance to meet people you're not ever going to meet in person otherwise. And for those who missed last year's, you go to our website, click on the green logo there, and it brings up this page here, how to, and you can get last year's conference videos for $99 as a video on demand forever. You won't pay one time, and you have them available forever. Anywhere you can get internet access. They can even get them on the front lines of trenches these days. I mean, the internet is pervasive. But anyway, if you get a chance, come on down. If you want a T-shirt, like I got one, they're available through HowTube there. So feel free to order. Or if you just want to make a donation for the cause here, that green button in the middle there is for our donation button, and it helps us keep expanding and rolling. Okay. And I'd like to encourage everyone to be part of the YouTube channel. We have 30 years of videos up there. We have the Extraordinary Technology Conferences, Exotic Research Conferences, the Global Science Conferences. Soon we'll be working on the coffee conferences. So there's a lot of information on there in one spot. A lot of it's for free, but I encourage you to just become a member. It's $9.99 a month. It helps us out. It keeps the lights on, and helps us get the wherewithal to convert more of these videos from VHS to MP4s and then up on YouTube. So, and any of the videos you see on YouTube are available from us as a DVD. So I encourage you to go up there, check it out. $9.99 get you total access. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give us a thumbs up, if you like our show tonight, and let other people know about it. Now, let me, without further ado, introduce Andrew. Andrew Batty, the Hydrogen Garage, and Andrew's been working on hydrogen technology forever, you know. And he's done the water smackers, and he's done the excuse me, I get rid of some of the stuff.
Where did I start? Should I start talking?
Well, I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure out what
yeah,
happened.
yeah. I'm Andrew. Batty's my last name. They call me Bro Andrew, and I do that because the Lord keeps me alive doing this crazy
There
business with water, fuel, and the smacker technology starts off with a water smacker. We had to come up. The smacker just means water smacker. We have air smacker. We had to come up with a name no one else had. And what it is this is like healing water at your home. It's got a resonant chamber. That's a antenna, non-Hertzian energy negative antenna. So it makes alkaline water. It makes negative charge. You fill the bottle up with water, like crystal geyser water or good spring water, and then you set it like this on the counter, and you just turn it on for a couple of days, and you leave it on for 2 days when you first get it. And what it's doing to the water, it's microclustering the water, it's negative charge the water. It does like 6 different things. It's microclustering water only happens in nature when it's falling from the sky. It hits the Schumann frequency, and it starts to the negative energy of the Earth, non-Hertzian energy hitting the positive Earth. It makes a snowflake structured water, which is really goes deep. The science of it goes real deep. And Bob did a 10 years Department of Defense science study on nanotechnology and DNA, and that's when it helped come up with all this smacked water, which is microclustered water. It's mimicking the Earth falling from the sky, and it's got to be changed electronically. He says water to change microclusterally doesn't happen in nature. It's electronic charge, so we're doing it with non-Hertzian circuit that's inside here, 2 little Tesla coils, and it collects the non-Hertzian energy. It only runs on 2 watts of energy, but it puts out about 8,000 volts, 0.008 amps. So it's like static electricity. So we're just tapping into the lightning, static energy. We're not taught this in schools because it means freedom. And there's like 6,000 patents locked up in the patent office since 1930. And so they've been bought out and shelved. And they all, 90% of them, I would say, are hooked into this non-Hertzian energy, which has many different names. It's real confusing. They call it, Tesla call it the ether, non-Hertzian energy, longitudinal energy, scalar energy, orgone energy, over unity energy, dark matter, subtle energy. It just every new inventor has a new name for what they found, and it's just like that. There's that black young man who in Africa made his electric car keep running. He has it. He doesn't have to plug it in. And he has some little battery thing in there, and it keeps charging itself. So he's collecting non-Hertzian energy, charging it up. So it's like free energy all around us. And people have invented it so many different ways. And if you go to like TeslaTech, you meet these people that do this. It's really cool to go to TeslaTech. It helps further the Earth's, freedom, and not USA. We have freedom, and to have free energy, then that's not, that's my goal. So that's what I'm trying to. I was led to do this business. It was 18 years ago, Hydrogen Garage, when I was an artist. I've been a graphic artist for 26 years doing Dolphin Shirt Company, and all of a sudden that kind of went overseas, and then I kept going to my mining claim back and forth, 900-mile trip, and I liked it, and it was a 4-wheel drive truck, and I wasted gas, so I made my own cell, a hydrogen cell, but I got lucky. I was making ionic water vapor. We have a chart of all the quantum levels of the gas, and I was up. This ionic water vapor's gone up on the chart. I should have put that on the PowerPoint. That's a good one. I forgot to put that on there. But it's my layman term version of the H2O and our hydroxy gas, which we make in the cars. That's another thing. But back to the health issue, the water smacker. So these are like 550 now. It used to be 370, but now the module went up in price. Bob had to find another place. And so you just smack for a family. You smack about this much. We only need a pint of this water for the day. And a lot of people are upset because it's got this PET plastic. We've been drinking and eating out of PET plastic since the 1950s. It's OSHA approved. It's medical food grade. So there's no plastic sides going into your body with the PET plastic. it just has the right correct dielectric properties to make it work. We say you can't use glass, you got to use this plastic bottle, which people get freaked out over. I've been drinking it for 9 years, and I'm not gay yet. Whatever they say, whatever plastic does to you. So there's no plastic problem, and then it's just very different. Okay, this is a category all its own. There's a bunch of these hydrogen bubbling units that move metal. A lot of them move metal, meaning they're doing electrolysis, and you're drinking the water that's getting past the plates or the electrical electrodes. So you're drinking the water that's touching that, and usually they're running too many amps and volts, so they're eroding the electrodes. So you're drinking oxidations of metals, like titanium dioxide. And like Bob says, you can't chelate it out of your system. You can get aluminum out of your system and other metals, iron, but that's when you can't. So you got to watch from these bubbling machines. As this doesn't do, we're not doing electrolysis. We're just running an antenna in the water, basically, and buzzing the water with femtosecond pulsing with the non-Hertzian energy, which it's kind of a trip because we're not taught this in school. So half people think I'm nuts, making these things. I felt God tell me when I met Bob, and they can sell these things. And now the new part we have is the air smacker. Now this one's the same thing, same module inside. This one takes the air, makes negative charge air in your room. So, okay, pathogens in our bodies, crystallization's positive, cancer's positive on the positive side. The yin-yang, positive, negative. So the negative water grabs a hold of the positive and helps your body eliminate it. So it seeps into your cells, this negative charge, and it starts taking over the positive stuff. So it helps your immune system. It helps you get rid of disease, naturally by just drinking the water. And then the air is at night. You can suck. You're breathing in negative charge air, and it's an air ionizer. What it is, real simply, you crack it, put the windowsill when you're sleeping. That's what I do, or in your office. And it sucks cool air in the room, and then it makes a fan noise. That's the only thing. And it goes up through these. This is a multi-field multi-field antenna. The sparks come off. It's like sparks. You don't see them, but that's what it's really doing, and it's magnifying the air around your room. Negative charge grabs hold of positive stuff in your lungs and takes it out. Pollen's positive, pathogens are positive. It takes smoke out of a room. There's a smoke in the room, it'll take the smoke out. It makes the air smell real clean. And it's interesting. These are 550 too, the air smacker. And then, that's part of what I sell here. Bob allowed me to sell these things and put them together. The other thing I do is Hydroxy Gas, which is his 1981 gag order patent. So like this is like for a 4-cylinder car. It's just a hydrogen cell with water. We put water in there, positive, negative, and we have neutral plates, which are voltage dividers. So we're putting 12, 14 volts in your car. So this one you run 5 amps. Like I have one of these in my 2.5 Volvo, and I run about 5 amps. And Bob's gas is 4 times more powerful than the regular para common hydrogen, which most 90% of the cells out there make. If you go to eBay and buy a HHO cell, it's making like 90% para hydrogen, which means the 2 H's are split, but they're sharing a proton, and they're happy together, floating around 2 H's, and then they will blow up and stuff. But if you make hydroxy gas, we slam it a little harder in the water with these toroids with a negative charge, so we're collecting non-Hertzian energy. And our H's are on their own. They're negative charge. So it's negative H, and negative O. So the negative part grabs a hold of positive, like your carbon's positive. So your hydrocarbon's positive. So it's a catalyst to the fuel. So it just blows it all apart in the cylinders. You don't need a catalytic converter or a depth filter anymore because you burned it all in the cylinders. You burned all the fuel you purchased. And you have a real clean burn. You just got to change the computer and tell it, hey, it's a nice clean burn. Leave it alone. Don't enrichen the fuel because something's up, or in your car runs a little cooler, cleaner. It should be on, like Bob said, it should be on every car out there, every car, gas. If you want to clean up the emissions, CARB won't even approve these things. They say, oh, it's dangerous. You're putting hydroxy gas is dangerous. Yeah, it's 4 times more powerful, but we're not putting it in a tank. We're not pressurizing it. And water's free. You can get it anywhere. It has to be distilled water, filtered water. And you put a lye, or electrolyte, and I've been running in my cars for like 15 years, and then as times go by, we kind of make the controller a little better. Now we have a knob on the dash. You can control the amps. Before it wasn't like that, so it should go Richter sometime. I've been waiting for it to do that, and it hasn't. And I just get ridiculed for it because I'm doing something totally different. The like the green hydrogen group, they won't even invite someone like me to their shows because I'm telling them the water's free, free fuel for everybody, water, yay, yay, no, they don't pay for it. They don't want that. They want a hydrogen station. You have to pay how much per pound of it, and the compressed hydrogen is too dangerous. They have way too high pressure. On some reason, they got to go really super high pressure, those hydrogen tanks in those cars. And like Bob said, the DOE is in charge of safety of U.S. highways. They wouldn't allow those on the highway. They're just a bomb ready to go off. It's just too destructive. And they're dealing into H2, which gets into helium and deuterium gas. Then H3 is tritium, which is radioactive. That's no good. That's all nuclear. So that's poison. So H1 is from water. It's the safest gas. It's cleanest gas, cleanest. You should be using it. I started this business. I was going to call it water fuel cell, water this, water that. And the Lord goes, no, call it hydrogen garage. And then Bob goes, yeah, I like that name. It starts in a garage. It's something. He goes, when we think of hydrogen, we think of a bomb. He goes, we're going to change that to hydrogen, the cleanest, safest gas on the planet. How come we're not using it? So that's what the Holy Ghost told me when I took the name and tried to get a business going. And so I've been going against the grain all this time. I'm like, in left field somewhere, Mr. Batty. So I'm just playing the role of my name. The last name is Batty. It's a Welsh name. He's battalion commander. And so the Lord, so battalion commander means I was like in charge of an army or something. And went way back when, I don't know. And then the Lord told me one time, battalion lion. The battalion has lion in it in bold letters. So he keeps me alive doing this. Otherwise, if I didn't have the Lord, I would be dead already probably. Because I could tell you, I've been starting this business with the website, and they don't like it. They can, like Bob goes, you have to sell it on the radar. We would sell it on the radar. It should be broadcasted on CNN. I should take over CNN, give it to Bob, let him talk, and sell these things. Why is it not the first? I don't know. It's just the way this world is. You have to deal with it. So I try to do that at the same time as working, and we have cells for different size cars, and like this is what Jerome made. This one, he's called the ice block. So Jerome Law has been helping me make these things for like 15 years. So his is his ice block baby. It's like, so this is for a V8 engine. Here's an inductor and a toroid. One's an RF choke, the red one, that's positive. So that stops the pulsing. The inductor collects pulsing. We get femtosecond pulsing coming into this thing, and it has to be silver wire, has to be wrapped counterclockwise. This one's wrapped clockwise. So this brings in the pulsing, this one stops it. So this gives us 35 negative volt spikes on the scope. So we're bringing negative charge gas. It's kind of simple, really. On the negative side of this plate, you'll see gold start to grow on here, and then the positive side is carbon, and it's positive. It's the acidic side, and that's where the oxygen comes off. And that side's carbon. It's a gray color. So once you get the gold and the gray going, you get the two dissimilar metals going on. Then the gas quality goes up. Then the water starts microclustering. That's another step. When water rarely microclusters, but we can do it because we're doing electronically changing the molecule. We're putting an energy pattern into the molecule, as Bob says. So that's learned from Bob's a Department of Defense scientist. So I kind of learned from him, and then learned on my own with stuff he told me to go check out that Yahweh sequence. It's like, go look it up, and go look up stuff that I just like that one. That one rocked my soul because it shows Jesus' signature is in our DNA, and no matter what you believe in, you got it from your parents. So you got to stick with that. Don't let them turn into an AI robot. Well, anyways, this is for a V8 engine. It's 8x8 size plate. There's 7 plates. Oh, this one's 13 because we doubled it up. So you get negative on the inside, positive on the outside. That's another thing. Non-Hertz energy goes into magnetic field. It makes magnetic fields or works with magnetic fields. It keeps magnets going. And so we always work with the magnetic field. Each neutral plate has positive on one side of the plate, negative on the other. Positive, negative. See, right there we're breaking laws of physics. It doesn't make sense how the neutral plate works. But it's a magnetic field that non-Hertz energy likes to attract to. It likes, magnets. It likes quartz rocks, hematite, rocks that contain negative energy that you put in your house that get rid of the calcium buildup, which is positive. Same thing with your pipes in your house, and the same thing with your body. Your blood the fat in your veins is positive, it starts to clog your system, and it sticks, can't get out because it's stuck in there. It's all crystallized and hardened. So this negative water, smacker water, or the negative hydrogen water in the cells, taking it down. So everything we do is on the negative side. We're all negative, non-Hertz energy negative, coming from the middle of the Milky Way, hitting the Earth is positive ball antenna. That's what Tesla figured out at Colorado Springs in 1900. He only did it. It took him 1 year to figure it all out. And he did all his calculation. He was all done. He had it all done. I go, Bob, why did he leave so early? Because he was finished with an experiment. He learned everything. It was 100% non-Hertzian. So he went to where the most lightning is in the world. It was Pikes Peak at the time. So he went there. So he just studied lightning energy, which is this non-Hertzian energy that you can tap into. It charges us at night like a battery. And this energy charges you at night. It does a lot of things we're not taught in school. It's ignored. And so, because it brings free healing and all kinds of things, and it won't make any money off of us. And their goal of trying to get rid of everybody won't work because everybody's alive and well. So the population control, screw that. I like how Elon says, have as many kids as possible. Have cool kids that you grow that are really, making new stuff. Time keeps going, and so anyways. Oh, another thing I want to sell is we sell these Volo circuits, or maybe I should go through the presentation thing. How do you do that? Click here. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh man. Okay, let me go back here. Here's there's the air smacker. Oh, airsmacker.com, watersmacker.com, and they all have a ton of information on there. It just goes and goes. What Bob told me to write in there, what I've researched on my own. Here's my website, hydrantgarage.com, and it's a store here, and I have all the products in there. Okay, here's the one I was talking about, the Volo. Volo SS3. Today we have it where it hooks into your OBO2 port. This thing on the bottom. We now solder them in, and you can get it. It has 2 wires you got to solder in, or I'll do it for you. They're $100, and it's 120 with it soldered in there. And this Volo, you can put it on up to 8 cars. It saves you by itself. It tells the computer, just don't flood it with gas. So every kit has to have one of these, because we're completing the burn, and the clean burn, and it's and a clean burn will trigger the computer to flood it with gas. So we tell it not to. That's all this Volo does, really. And it leans out some fuel trim. He worked with a race car driver, and the owner, Dan's not with us anymore, but Kevin keeps it going. So I've been selling them for 15 years, and they work. No one sends them back. So you have 1-year warranty. So for $100, you can save fuel on your car. You can look it up, and it fits most cars. It just basically tells it not to flood it with gas and leans out some fuel trims for you. And there's simple things why they flood it with gas, like it's not warm enough. Your engine's running a degree or 2 cooler with the hydroxy gas now, and it runs smoother, quieter. It's cleaning all the carbon out. So eventually your car is clean of carbon, and then gold starts to grow from the negative side of the plate. And there's one guy, a friend, Brian Greer, has a race boat, and his boat used to have black carbon in the pipes. He has big old pipes coming out the back. Now they're all like gold tinted from doing this Bob's hydroxy gas. See, his hydroxy gas is different than the other gases made out there from water. That we're making this, like I said earlier, negative H, negative O hydroxy gas, instead of just positive negative H, positive negative H, positive negative O, which is good and everything, but it doesn't bond to carbon like really good and marry it and blow it all up. It burns up at the same time. So it doesn't work such like a catalyst. It's a hit or miss. Some people make them and they work, sometimes they don't. But ours are pretty consistent, the hydroxy gas. And so that's the Volo FS2, and there's an FS3 too. I'll get to that. Well, we also sell Buddy Davidson's fuel vaporizer. He was at TeslaTech last year. Buddy's out of Texas, a Lockheed engineer, and he retired now, and so he's been messing with fuel vaporizer his whole life. So this is a really simple unit that he's been putting on. In these older trucks, it gets the best. I don't know, like any truck in the old days, before OBO2, which is 1996, you just put this on without a Volo, and it did good. And today you got to add this heat stuff at the when you get a if you go with this fuel vaporizer, like $189, and the copper fitting gets hot, and it takes your heat from your vacuum system of your PVC valve, and it runs it through there, and you're recirculating already the fumes. You're just adding a little bit more, and it heats this little tank fills with gas that has this heat stuff, because most heat gas today is ethanol, and it'll freeze there's a little a valve in here, and it gets stuck if it gets frozen sometimes. So you put this heat stuff in there, and it stops it. It's due to the ethanol making it freeze. Same problem with the hydrogen stations. They're freezing up when it gets hot. This whole green hydrogen, they don't even have the tanks ready yet. Like, they have the cart before the horse. They got all these guys making hydrogen engines from pressurized PEM cells. They separate the gas. The H is kept and compressed while the oxygen is sent off into the air. In our cells, we combine the two gases, so it's more combustible. It's more efficient. It gets more energy out of this a little bit. As that tanked hydrogen stuff, like Bob said, there's too much energy going into trying to make that stuff. Then it's super high pressure, like triple, quadruple pressure. And they go, oh, we got 3 layers thick. Yeah, more of a bomb to blow up once it blows up, because the hydrogen is really implodes and explodes, so it can really self-spark. That's why it's dangerous. There's a couple of brothers blew up in Simi Valley. I forget their name now. The 2 brothers. One was like about 10 years ago. They had a hydrogen. They were transferring hydrogen from one tank to another. Got their name now. And then this brother, a year later, his other brother blows up. One died and one blew his leg off. So it's not a like Bob said. Anyone pressurizing gas, get out of their garage. Don't go near them. So this gas is safe, hydroxy gas. It should be on all cars, and if you drive a lot, you can save fuel. They have these kits you buy. Oh yeah, and you got to put it on yourself. Yeah, licensed mechanic's not allowed to put one of these on your car, so you got to do it yourself. Due to the hot rodders, you can do that. You can put nitrous oxide in your car. So no one's been pulled over and got in trouble with it. Even though they don't like it, and CARB tries to outlaw it, but CARB's got to be flipped around. It's not run right. And it's just like any other 3-legged agency that's kind of crazy right now. It just needs to be rebuilt. And accept something like this. If you want to clean the emissions by 80%, I have a list of the dyno reports from this S7 cell. Even this little cell on a diesel Rabbit VW, we clean emissions really well, and clean emissions by 80%. NOx percent goes down by 90%. I have it on the Hydrogen Trucker page. They're documenting. It's a CARB document saying, so it does clean the emissions up. And then we have a combo here. You get the Volo with the fuel vaporizer, and we have it so you can plug it in the OBO2 port, like I said earlier. Here's a trucker. This is a cell for like a 7.8 liter engine, diesel engine or gasoline. But yeah, gasoline or diesel, they both work good on them. That doesn't matter. Any combustible fuel, it works good. It cleans emissions. Your car runs better. And then like here I go VP16. So Volvo has FS2 and it has this VP16. It's a dash touch display. I can get to that one next. I'll explain that later. Here's the old trucker cell that's a 12 liter. Now we have one for 14 liter. This is for a V8, a D7, so it's 2 7-plate cells in one. And this is for a V8 engine. Like it starts at 550. It comes with the Volvo FS2, and you need to put that in there. And you're just adding this gas to the air intake. And the more mixing of the air, the better. That's all you were doing. And it goes out, bubbles the tank, and goes in, and it goes through the filter to keep any aerosol vapor out. Because we use lye. The lye doesn't gas off, only the water does. So you just initially put lye in it and then mix it up. And then and it's also antifreeze. So the lye is antifreeze, another good thing. In the wintertime, you don't have to worry about freezing. And then you just add water as you go. Distilled reverse osmosis water as you drive. And it goes through the water real slowly because we're not vaporizing the gas. We're going about 80 degrees, so our water lasts a long time. And then after a while, you got to turn the amps down because the cell conditions. We cleanse the cell electronically. No one else does that. That's why our kits are a little bit more money. To Bob's patent, we have to electronically cleanse it. You got to get the yellow chromium out and all the oxides of the metals. And then once that's out, then because that can prohibit this ortho spin state that we're trying to hit. And ortho is a negative spin state, and uh, here's a toolbox. It's the S7. I have this in the back of my Volvo. There's a video on this. Oh yeah, my videos are hydrogengarage.com. YouTube.com @hydrogen garage. I got a bunch of videos. There's one of this toolbox. It's in the back of my Volvo. So I get from 18 miles a gallon of Volvo to about 24, and around town about 22, and then sometimes on a road trip up to 26. And because I have this fuel vaporizer in the Volvo 16, and this little toolbox in the back, and it puts the hose all the way under the car to the front air intake, so it goes all underneath the car into the front, and gives it more horsepower. That car runs so clean. When it's idling, you don't smell nothing. I bet if I took it all apart, all the carbon's gone. So it makes your engine run twice as long. It should be on all cars. Repeat that again and again. Okay, that's it for the slideshow. I don't know how to. I have some pictures that I can put up. Can you share a screen, Steve, or what do you think? Are you there? Let's see here. Well, here's a PWM here. I'll talk about this. There's. Okay.
I was gonna say you could try, but
how much more minutes do I got?
About a half hour if you want.
Oh, really? Just keep talking.
Well, what are you gonna show there?
Well, this is. I'm just saying. I make these PWMs. I had to learn how to do this pulse width modulator. It's part of this hydrogen, the cell. That's another part. This one's for a trucker. So this one has 4 MOSFETs in it. So this one's to capture this non-Hertzian energy without frying the electronics. And yeah, I don't know. That's just one thing we make. So I have a new trucker cell. I was going to show the picture. It's on hydrogentrucker.com. Like I have that one too. And that was my last thing I put together. If I could show that, but can I share my page or the?
You give it a shot.
What do? You just go to present.
Go to present.
Video file, image file.
Let's see. Share screen.
Share screen. Oh, okay. Okay, share screen. But you have to tell it what screen to share.
Yeah.
Share screen. I say share screen, it doesn't do anything. Unless it's up. Yeah, sorry I'm not really good at all this. I should come back tomorrow.
Well, I like to tell people about the number 4. I think it's number 4. Extraordinary science technology. You put plans on that if someone wants to try to build. They can order the plans from us. I'm trying to think if I put them online or not. You know.
What's that?
On how to build one of these things. You know.
How to put the hydrogen cell on?
How to make your own.
Oh, well,
yeah.
A lot of people make their own, but you just most people just make parahydrogen. Like Bob gave up all his plans. He had a big forum. It was on Yahoo Groups, and they took it down. It was called Hydroxy Gas. And he had it up like 2005 up to around 2012, and then it had 10,000 people. And so he got the car to run on water, and then they wanted to put him in jail for that. So he was kind of mad at the end there. They took all his money to fight the courts, and then he got out of it. And this was crime, driving a car in water. So that was his 100 cell box, which he got. They were making 4 times more powerful. He made 10 times more powerful, hitting residents. And so if I had my screen, I could show you the car and everything. So it was a Toyota Prius, electric engine, and then he had the 100 cell box in the trunk. And he told me later that he drove across the United States and back, but it's probably not supposed to tell anybody this. He's all classified. He has to watch it, what he says and everything, because he his whole life was military Department of Defense science.
Well, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Does a water smacker remove deuterium from the water?
Deuterium for water. No, Bob says no, it doesn't do that. Bob says all water has deuterium in it, but in such a low amounts, it's not healthful. It's not bad. Um, yeah, there's other people say they're trying to get deuterium out of water, and then he says there's that John Ellis machine. It's like a water distiller, and he says that he doesn't know, believe in that technology. He doesn't know about it. And a lot of people ask us that, and they have depleted deuterium. He goes, they kind of made it up, and he said that it doesn't. You don't need to do that or something. He works with deuterium. He says they run Space Force flies on a tank of deuterium water. So that's H2. So that's the H1 is from water. It's real safe. H2 deuterium. That's when they discovered nuclear stuff, so they don't do that anymore. So it's 10 times, it's like 100 times more powerful. And then when you get up to tritium, which is even radioactive, that's like 1,000 times more powerful. And it's just a gas hydrant made from water. So they supposedly Space Force flies with it. I don't know. He tells me stuff way later that Bob tells you stuff blows you away, and then later you go, God, the guy's exactly right. Like, man, I thought that was, he made that up, so me and a friend of him is kind of a trip, and then he can't talk about it, like, it's classified. He says that it's so easy to make this stuff into a bomb. That's the one reason why the Department of Defense don't want it out. That's another thing. But Trump wants to open the doors of that patent office vault, and so does Tom Balone. Open that thing up and bring the Doobie Brothers, let them play like a halftime football, and let the kids go put them on the table and let all the young engineers go through all that stuff. And the people still own a lot of the patents, like Bob owns his. He didn't sell out. He just can't make it. And so he's just waiting for one day. Because his patent, like this 7-plate making, this is his patent cell, like sealed series cells. So it's like a battery. So we have it all sealed. And some people drill holes all in it. So the holes, he says, bastardize my design. So people put water for holes, let the water in the top and the bottom, those that make these. So, we have holes, but we have ours are isolated with nylon, so it's non-conductive. So it slows it way down enough to make it work for Bob to say, okay, you can make it like that. See, Bob said no, he won't license his design to anybody anymore because no one listens. So he's like, I'll listen, I'll do it, okay. So I'm like the student, he's like the teacher. So I go, okay, I'll do what you say then. And then he let me license it. So another guy wants to do it big time, and you're going to have to go train him. I go, well, I'll do that. He met some guy who wants to go Richter with this. And they're all waiting for the money. That's so funny. But this guy's the new guy that I'm talking with, he might want to do it. And it should be a big business someday. If he, I could care less if I'm part of it or not. I'm just a messenger. I feel strange why I made this business, and I make a living, and I have fun with it, and I'm just doing what the Lord told me to do. If everybody did that, the life would be great. A lot of us have to fall for the money and make money to live, and we spend our whole life making money. So I kind of control myself not to do that. Stuff that entertains me, and going to your TeslaTech, you meet such fascinating people. I invite people to go to that thing because it's really cool. And you come back with an open mind, and you learned a lot, and you meet a bunch of cool people. Wish more people go. In the old days, remember, a lot of people would come. And less people come today. I don't know. People out of money maybe, or I don't know what the deal is. The interest is kind of, it should come back, you would think, But it's, I was gonna come, but maybe I should come. I helped print the shirts for TeslaTech, so I always enjoy doing that, It's like I have one on now. Look, you can't see it, TeslaTech, or I think it's got on the back of the guitar, the one of the guitar in the back, but. I got a Neil book at Tesla. A farmer gave it to me, and I was in Idaho, and I was like 19. He goes, son, you're like a smart kid. Here, read this book. And he gave it to me for a birthday present. And he goes, I got done reading it, and you read it. So it's Tesla from O'Neill. That was so cool. I never go, how come this guy's not in our history book? So I kind of got influenced by him a long time. And the only one who was talking about him was George Wiseman. When I was a kid back there in the late 70s. I had a Eagle Research. I signed up for that. Little ad at a mechanics magazine. And so I stuck with the Tesla stuff, and then it's nice to have the free energy, but maybe one day it will be. I don't know. If I had some more pictures, I say I can't get to the pictures.
There's another question. What is the frequency?
Oh, okay. The water smacker. It's the Sherman frequency is put into it. 7.5, 10.8, because it's trying to mimic. He's trying to mimic the rain falling from the sky, and it hits the Schumann frequency. Okay, Schumann frequency is a lot of healing. Bob said it's a wide band from 0 to 20 hertz, and right in the middle is 7.8. And it's a low subtone hum of the earth. It's the hum of the earth, like it's a meditation. But you can't hear it. It's the lower hearing. And that's skin, your toenails, your hair is at that frequency healing. So it helps skin cancer. It brings skin collagen back. It makes your skin, like women say, it brings the oil back when they were younger. And it helps your skin. Your fingernails grow. They say your hair grows thicker, but mine sure didn't. See, that's why. But it makes your color of the hair come back. I don't know. It does many things. I've been drinking it for 9 years now, and I like it. Anytime I have a problem, and I can still hike up and down the hill like I was a kid, but my knee's still messed up for surfing. I can't. My knee's not good enough to jump up fast, so I fall off all the time. So I get pissed off at myself. So I surf way less than I used to. Because I live right here by the beach. I'm like Cayucas by the sea, and I've been here for 44 years. Just moved here to go surfing as a kid, and I did T-shirts for 26 years. Now I'm doing this hydrogen garage business. I felt led to do, and because I was saving fuel in my car. Oh, then Bob said, your cell's nothing but junk. I go, well, I was getting gains, and I was getting gains in the fuel, and I had more power. He goes, well, you're making ionic water vapor. You got lucky. He goes, you had an N-channel MOSFET. I had this little MOSFET is a PWM, and it's in here, and it makes the pulse. You make a square wave pulse. So you're slamming the water. You want to like whack the water, and so when you pulse it more with non-Hertz energy, you're really whacking it. 35 volt negative spikes. So it's whacking that water a little further to make it 2 H's. Then if you try to hit resonance, what Bob tried with a 100-cell box, then you can even get more power out of it. There's things you can do, and you can add LED lights or some kind of light. I tried that for a while, but maybe that has something to do with it. Make it so higher quality of gas quality goes up.
There's a question for you.
What's that?
Does Bob Boyce still go to conferences?
Go to conferences?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he won't go anymore. He can't speak. They get down on him for talking. Like he tells me stuff like last 2 years I ask him questions and he won't answer them less than he used to. Sometimes he does, but sometimes he's still helping out though. He's like 78 years old around there, and he's still helping. He's retired, but he still does work. I don't know. I don't ask him those questions what he's doing. He does all kinds of things that kind of blow you away. Like what? So I don't want to get him in trouble and stuff. But he's a nice guy. He has a big heart, and he did a non-Hertzian energy experiment. He was getting electrocuted to death at one point, and something came and rolled him off the bed, and he lived. And he said God changed his heart at that time. Because he has like a photographic memory, and he said it didn't hurt that, but all of a sudden I started talking to my neighbors, and I started laughing more, and I was joking around with people, and then he started loving his neighbors, having a good time. He goes, then I became kind of a funny guy, and he likes to blow you away with stories, make you laugh. So his heart opened up when he got changed from being struck by lightning. And then a lot of people ask for the water smack. Can you make a 5-gallon one? I go, well, if you do that, he said, it brings down so much non-Hertz energy that the military will be at your house. Because they have a radar. Whoever's bringing this free energy down, they'll be at your house. So they have it kind of controlled. They don't want anybody messing with it. Because it can be made into a bomb. That's another thing. So they kind of watch it. So people that pull down too much of it. Now, Bob said, well, you were pulling down. Well, I have a license to do that on my ranch. Oh, that's Bob playing with his stuff out there. Yeah, Vernon Roth once went to his house, and they did some stuff, and they made a storm go over the house, and he got kind of blown away. Vernon Watt that going to Bob's. He told me that story. There used to be the Tesla MC guy, remember?
Yeah.
Vernon days, yeah. And his sister had it was a trip. That family. The mother was the alchemist. Really cool, you know. So Bob helped him make that spark of life water at 50,000 volts into the water. And well, if you buy a water smacker, I'll give a sales percentage to Steve and TeslaTech. So, if you buy anything from you're helping Steve, you know, buy a Volo. I'll give him a percentage of the sales. Volo should be yeah, get this. Volo can never get SEMA show of approval. They can never get CARB approval. He tried 10 years in a row, Dan did, and they would never. SEMA means you can sell to the chain auto parts stores, and they don't want you messing with your computer. They don't like doing that because you're basically doing what they should be doing. Like the Asian cars sell, Japan sells cars to their people because they have to buy oil, so they make it a gas-saving car, so they can lean it out. You know, how come we don't? How come GM and Ford and Chrysler doesn't lean out our cars? Because we're in the oil business state, I guess, and they want to sell you more gas, or they could be doing the same. So if you ever, they won't take us to court because they'll be fools in court. Because how come you guys aren't doing this? Why aren't you leaning it out like Japan does? You know, why you guys have this gas guzzling cars like those big old trucks people buy now with the big tires? Those things don't get good mileage. But if you put hydroxy gas, they sure will. You know, you get like 25%, sometimes 30. Volo alone will get 10 to about 15, 20% on an American car. American cars get better because they lean them a little further, and the Asian cars not so much. You get like 10%. If you put a Volo on an Asian car, you get about 10% better. Like the daughter's Ford Fusion went from 28 miles gallon to like 36 just with a Volo plugged in. And no one sends them back, and you can take it off the car you have now and can put it on your new car. Oh, they last and last and last. Well, he sold them on eBay. He couldn't sell them to FEMA. He couldn't sell them to the auto train stores that they all own, you know. And so he sold it on eBay for like 10 years, and they sold thousands of them. And then all of a sudden one day they go, oh, you can't sell them anymore. These gas-saving devices do not work. And I go, what don't work? And there was these companies that they made these little false things that you plugged in, didn't do nothing, and people complained. So we have a bad rap that the Volo will not work when it really does. Like Bob goes, yes, it does. Stuff that works, they come against you. If you got something good, they're going to come attack you. That's a good sign. Like that black kid that came from Africa with an electric car. He went to Silicon Valley and they poisoned him. I go, oh, there you go. Now I believe him. But his poor friend died and he lived. That's the guy that's you don't have to plug the Tesla car in. You don't have to plug it in. It charges itself. So that's an app. You heard that one? You should have him come to your show and talk. I like that one. He didn't have any money to go to school, and he just young kid that was into electronics. It was all over his living room, all the parts. Reminds my friend Dennis Travis made amps for the Van Halen band. He had parts all over the house, all over the floor. The guy was a genius when it comes to putting these. He was just a kid too, and then later on they invent stuff. You know, like Tesla's probably like that. You know.
Here's another question. Can
Okay.
you open, I think he's referring to the water spike. Can you open it? Is there a rod that goes into the water?
Yeah. So it's a stainless steel 316 medical grade. It has to be all thread because it's multi antenna. Like Bob goes, no, I got a straight rod, but you know it has to be multi antenna. So it has a bunch of points to it. So the non-Hertz energy goes off every little point. So it's a multi antenna. It goes into the water. So that's sitting in the water. And then the aluminum is positive. It's an aluminum liner called the resonant chamber. It's all calibrated, 12 inches, and then you put the water in here, and it just sits there, and it doesn't do electrolysis. It just sends energy to the positive side. Well, then after you let it go for 2 days, you hold on to it, as I do it when I'm at a show. I'll get a paper cup, and I go hold on to it and pour some in your finger, and you get a little shock. It just shows you have the negative charge. It kind of makes them remember, oh, I got shocked by the water. You're breaking laws of physics. Water's not supposed to hold a charge, and unless you give it 50,000 volts. So we're doing it with 8,000. We don't tell them this. It's lightning energy. It's high voltage, low amperage. It's like that's why lightning, you can survive it sometimes. The golfers get flung, and only a 1 amp or something. And it's a different feeling. That kind of a static shock. Like I was in my golf cart, when I get shocked, I get a 48-volt shock hooking up the battery when I'm touching the positive. I mount my hands on the frame. I get this different kind of shock. The voltage shock that man made, DC. You can start to feel it around 48. You start to feel it. This is 8,000 volts, but 0.008 amps. The golf cart's 48 volts, and I'm getting maybe 1 amp or something. So I'm getting a shock from that, and that's about it. No, I don't know. I could I should have more pictures. I could keep talking.
Well, I like to mention like the water is illegal because you're not paying a tax on it, fuel tax on it. So that's the way they trap you.
Yeah, that's another one.
And Paul Pantone, uh, the only state that takes water payment on water as a fuel tax would be Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, if
And
you're buying the gasoline, you're cleaning up by 20%, and your emissions are clean, and you're supposed to be cleaning up the carbon. What's wrong with that? You're already paying a gas fee. So I kind of talk like that. See, it's a gray area. They'd have to come up with something. Yeah, that's correct, though. Yeah, they told Paul Pantone that, and Bob too. They lost his court case saying that there'd be no money for fixing the roads, and no money for this. Every gas tax they take a couple of dollars out for the city, for this, for that, and they told that they'd be draining the city if they did that. And but if they saved up all the money from that, with I forget that thing that they were doing, Dodge, whatever. Save all that money and pay for that, pay it that way. Use the Dodge money to pay for all the
well,
gas. I don't know.
the other thing is the prohibition on
What's that?
prohibition. It's a little bit before your time. Remember, you couldn't buy alcohol back in
Oh,
the early 1900s. That
yeah,
prohibition
yeah.
and prohibition, they did it as like a moral thing, but the real reason is for gasohol. Because if you notice, the main with Ellie Ness and the Treasury thing, they all focused on Chicago, the center of the Midwest, because all the farmers were mixing alcohol with their gas, so they could run their tractors cheaper. It's all
Hmm.
about the money, always.
Yeah,
Always about the money.
yeah.
So
This planet, yeah, yeah. Follow the money, find the answers. Um, yeah, like I was seeking the green hydrogen future. And how far can you go? It's one of those things. How big's the tank? And then what pressure? 1,500 pounds of pressure. And then who's going to own the gas station? Then you follow the money, like BlackRock, Vanguard money. They're going to own the monopoly gas station because they already outlawed you making gas at home because it's too dangerous. First thing, at home with your solar panels, making your own gas, your hydrogen gas. Because there's a lot of companies like Hyundai has buses and stuff they're putting together, and there's big shows, a lot of people at them, and you ask them how they're doing it. They don't tell you. They're all under like MDA. They can't say anything, and that's kind of how. The water smacker also ties into Bob's Chi Box healing room. You heard that roll arrive frequency? It's part of the patent of the water smacker. If someone wants to go read it, I see. I should have that page up.
there's
That's
a
all ready to go, and they don't want it. You just
there's
go into a room, a Faraday cage room. And you have 4 quantum computers. One checks what you're doing. One sends a frequency. One finds out what's happening. One does a diagnostic. I don't know. He explains it all. It goes right over your head. And then in a room where there's a Faraday room, so that no other frequencies can go in there, and only the frequency that you're being healed. And you just lay down on the bed or sit there, kind of like a med bed kind of thing. And you sit there and get frequency healing. And
anyway, here's a comment for you. Seems like the water can help speed up wound and burn healing, right?
speed up wound. Yeah, when you drink this water, whatever your body's ailing at the time, it goes right to it. Bob says because it's a negative charge, and whatever your body's focused on, it'll go right to that. Like you have a cut or something, or it's it's just negative charge, and it's so small it goes from one cell to the next to the next. He said it does a chain reaction. and it just starts seeping into your cells. So people drink the water and say it's really dehydrative. I can feel it like really making me dehydration go away. So, and then some people, can't take a high pH like 8.5 or more. Your stomach can't handle it. So drinking high pH alkaline water is not another way to do it. And they put basically lye in the water to make it go up to 10 pH, or the baking soda in the water to make the pH go up. And some people can't even handle it. You just pee it out. So the water smacker is good to alkaline you because it's a negative charge, and it brings it up like a point or half a point. Like it goes from 6.5 to 7. That just if you do a pH testing on this water before and after, and we ask people to before and after try taste both before and after, so your body will tell you what's good and bad, And we say crystal geyser, like in California, it comes from Mount Whitney. There's more ormus in the water. But also, I forgot to mention Miracle Water, with Debbie makes these. She's in the middle of moving right now. She puts these together. Her Ron Talbot, her husband, was going to make it, and he was taken up. He did too much. And another guy that, but he makes ormus trap in a magnesium. So this is an under sink filter system. So it makes the ormus, and then you smack it later. So it's a good combination. That's why we have booths together. Debbie Davis and then me with the water smacker. I have it on the website. You can watch the video of it, and we just explain the experience of the anti-aging benefits of monatomic water. So and less water goes down your drain too on this system. But it's $1,000, and sometimes she has a sale. And the water smacker is $550 right now, because we had to switch to another place that would make the modules. Oh, pretty soon they're gonna, all our electronics are made in China, and pretty soon we're gonna be able to make it here because Taiwan Semiconductor is coming to the USA, so we'll be able to make everything 100% USA made. Because right now the electronics is made in Taiwan, and then he ships it to China. Now it's in Hong Kong. It's a long story with that, but they shut down the business that was making them, and so he's making it another place. He needs this wave solder machine. They don't have that here, and then they don't have. He says, all their electronics. And maybe they'll start making them over here now. Their phones, their boards, everything's over there.
Well, I remember when they started moving everything over there. I worked for Unisys, formerly Sperry,
Yeah.
and all our military, at one time used to have to be bought in the United States. And then all of a sudden, they started shipping everything overseas, and then they started going from testing 100% on the circuits. They only wanted us to sample and trust the vendor. That's when I got out of the business.
Yeah. Yeah, screen printing business went overseas. The whole screen printing industry for T-shirts has changed now. It's not done here. Now everybody has these direct printers, or they do transfers. You can do these transfers that look really good, and it looks like black. So all the screen printing went overseas, and now the technology is changing. But yeah, we had 250 accounts, and they took them all and got all the printing overseas, and never ordered us from us again. That was in 1998. Around there, 1999, 2000. So I started this business in 2007. I started Hydrogen Garage, and then I made my own cells. Then I met Bob a year later, and so now I learned not to make junk cells. That's why people like to. Yeah, a lot of people buy our stuff and want to start a business, and they think it's real simple. They're just going to copy what we have, but there's a couple things you got to do that it won't work if you don't have it. And like those toroids is one. Like that's kind of re-engineering craft technology from these toroids. So it does help bring the negative spike on our PWM. When I have those things off, the spike goes away, and that's like free energy. It shows you we're getting. The other thing is non-hertz energy. There's no meter for it, so that's another thing people don't believe in it. That you don't have a meter for it, but Bob has one. No, they made one, but it's like $10,000 to get one. So the one way to meter it is on a analog scope. Tektronix, so you get them pretty cheap. They made them in the 70s, and I can see the spikes, nice square wave, and to make boosting, I gotta show you my trucker cell I made. I made a bigger trucker cell. It's over there. I wanted to put the picture up. It's on hydrontrucker.com. You know, I've sold a couple of those, and so that might go somewhere. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm getting too old for this. I'm 67 now, and I've been putting these cells together. I can still keep doing it, but it'd be good to go let some kids do it and go big time. So a place in Oklahoma might do it. The Oklahoma likes the idea of clean energy, and they can use the oil fields. See, the oil fields need to get together with this technology instead of fighting it, because it cleans up their emissions for them. And you're not buying any water, so you don't know. I guess you're not paying any taxes on it, so they don't know. I mean, you're buying the gas to get by, and if you're getting a better mileage, like he has one on his gen set, and he's getting 25% longer runtime or 30% on a factory gen set at a where he works, so he just has to pay less. So there's not a deal with tax there because he's just. I guess he does buy the fuel, but it's at a home generator running a plant.
Well, if you're at a home generator, it's different from being on a road. When you're on a road, that's when they have the road tax. In fact, they have like green gas and red gas. You know, and the green gas is the agricultural. And if they catch you with green gas in your tank and you're on a road, they can nail you. They send you to jail for that.
Oh, the red diesel, you mean?
On the green.
Oh, it's green color now.
Yeah, they dye it green so that they can tell if it's agricultural gas. That means that road tax on them to pay, and you're not supposed to operate those vehicles on the road.
Oh yeah, because they're paying road tax, like highway tax, huh?
If they cheat, they do spot checks every now and then. If they catch you with green gas in a vehicle, that's when they can hammer you for not paying the fuel tax.
Yeah.
They get you on everything. I mean,
Yeah, if they got the pressurized hydrant tank station, they probably charge a tax for it. Road tax, whatever. Because you're paying again. As with me, I'm secretly putting water in the car, but it's only a little bit. I mean, it cleans emissions up. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm going against the grain because I'm not about the money, but they could take the Dodge Buddy and pay for it. Whatever.
well, I'm not about the money, but I do have to, keep plugging the conference, and hopefully I'll be able to get the magazine going again. But that's because I got to pay a hotel bill there,
Oh yeah.
so I need people to come to the conference, for that. But I think you can't beat if you don't have people, you don't have a conference. To
Yeah.
me, these online things, they're okay to a point, but it's not like sitting there and talking to somebody and say, "Hey, I don't understand this. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?" You can't really do that on one of these video conferences, you know, because it's not really, and and it may be something the guy might tell you in person, but he's not going to tell the world.
Yeah.
So it's just something about coming to a conference, being there in person. We make our conferences very affordable. I hope you decide to come.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got very reasonable room rates at 119 for two people, you know,
Yeah.
but that includes breakfast. The closest thing to that would be Embassy Suites, and they want like $160, and so we work hard on keeping our prices down and everything, and getting a good value. And then with the live stream, uh, we have people buying both the live stream because there's a lot of stuff on live stream. Unless you're sitting there the entire time, where the video stuff's going on, you're not going to see it. Because like Karen, Elka, and Jason, they go out and they start interviewing people uh, on the side, between these presentations and that. So there's no telling what you're going to find out there. You know, but it's really good to come to these conferences. You go visit the booth, try the stuff. Like I'm
Mhm.
sure when you have your booth going, if I remember right, you have water available for people to try. You
Yeah.
know, And so there's nothing like trying it, and seeing for yourself. Hey, wow, this really does that. You don't have to take Andy's word for it. You try it yourself, and get
Mhm.
zapped yourself. I mean, Vern, he used to hand me these bottles, of plastic bottles, and you open it up, and boy, you get zapped by it, and I
Oh,
can never get over that.
that sparked water.
Yeah, it's spark water. Yeah, that's something else. You know.
Yeah, Bob helped me make that thing, and it puts 50,000 volts into the water. Just does it all at once, like then it's done, and it just holds the charge for a while. Same with the smacked water; it'll last 3 days. You can charge it up, and it'll stay spark you for 3 days, and it fades away. It decays after a while. The smacked water.
So anyway, I'm gonna call it a quiz for the night because it's been an hour.
Okay.
And, next week we're gonna have Karen, and the week after that we're gonna have John Brandenburg. You know,
All
and
right.
John has some stuff, that gravity control that is previously undisclosed. So it should be very interesting. And, so anyway, I'll catch y'all next week. I want to remind everybody, don't forget we got this conference coming up
It's in August, right?
in August 6th to 10th.
Okay.
And I'll be sending out an email later on from Psychotronics because theirs is coming up too. Theirs is August 17th. I mean, not August, but July 17th, the weekend of July 17th. And,
Hmm.
in Chicago. Wish I could go, but I'd have to drive. And it's about a 2-day drive for me. And it's just too close to my conference for me to spend 2 days, 4 days on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm from the Chicago area, so would have been a nice trip.
Yeah. So, maybe I go to the conference with George is here. Wong was here today. He's going to go help you. So maybe I can get a ride with him or give him shirts or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Ride with him. I
Yeah,
got my water smacker tent.
you bring it and set it up. I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I, I have a tent too. I set up now. Like
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Set up in the ballroom of that, and
Yeah.
we have ice cream put underneath of it, and really spice it up. Have
Yeah.
a
There
good.
you go.
I
Yeah. All
like
right.
everybody come out and have a good time. That's the
Yeah.
important thing. Life is too short.
Yeah.
I'm 2 days ago was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
18th. I'm
You're 39 now.
70. I'm 70.
At 39, you're a Jack Benny joke. You stay at 39 now.
Uh, but it's these
Congratulations.
conferences that, it keeps you going.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't know.
It's good you keep it going all these years, Steve. Congratulations for doing that.
But
Um,
if
yeah.
I was in it for the money, I could find something more lucrative.
Yeah, I'll send this video out to my mailing list, people that subscribe, that customers and stuff. They
Okay.
all like it. They're all real cool people I talk to on the phone. A lot of my customers are awake people. It's kind of cool. They're all smart.
So
It's a
anyway,
good thing. Yeah.
I'd like to encourage everyone to come out for that. If not, maybe you can sign up for the live stream or just become a member of the YouTube channel. Uh, I'm getting ready to put some more stuff up there. I got kind of messed up this weekend because my computer got that pale blue screen, the screen of death.
Oh no.
What I do is instead of pushing buttons, I just unplug it and plug it back in, and I can hope it
Comes back.
destroy anything up. But that tends to keep things. Like if I have a if I have a situation where it's not obeying my commands or anything, I always just pull the plug. I don't try to power it down or that. Just pull the plug. Uh,
Hmm.
and it works most of the time. It works.
Hmm.
But anyway, I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll see y'all next week. And
All right. All right. Thanks, Steve, and thanks for the show. And
yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, God bless everybody, and
And
keep
don't forget.
moving on.
And come on out to the conference. I'll talk to you
Yeah,
guys later.
yeah, I agree.